Hello, in this video we're going to discuss advice for law enforcement agencies, ways to identify Wiccans and witches. So these people primarily wear black, and we'll get to the reason why this cult wear black all the time in a later video. So not only do they just wear black most of the time, they also wear other clothing types, and they use disguises all the time. So they wear prosthetics across their faces, and they also wear prosthetic legs. Prosthetic legs allow them to adjust their height so they can go into another country, commit a crime, and then alter their height and use a different passport when they leave a country in order to get away with the crime. So this would show up in thermal imagery. They're wearing a prosthetic on their face or prosthetic legs. Also, metal detectors might pick up the prosthetic legs. The prosthetic legs are an advanced design that allow them to walk. I'm not sure of the capabilities of it, but I have witnessed people walking naturally with them. They also are transported in a black box. It's quite heavy, it's smooth, it has no handles. It resembles a coffin, although is wider and longer than a coffin for a person of the size and build. They're quite heavy, over 100 kgs, and the people being transported in them are witches and Wiccans, and also their victims can be transported this way. Inside the box is a breathable burning chemical, and they are locked in there, they cannot get out. It is a weird cult, as I mentioned. This is one of the things that they do to themselves, but they also do it to their victims. From heaven's perspective, for innocent people, they're placed in the control room, and we put what is called an iron chassis in their place, so they do not experience it. For people whose lives they have plans for, they're transported in the black box in aircraft, or vehicles that are close to their destination, so they can get there as quickly as possible. People who are not important would be transported by ships, and it can keep them alive for several months, but they would be a mess at the other end or dead. Another way to spot these wicked people in an organization is as a new arrival. So for people who are already established in a position, it might not be so noticeable, but what they tend to do is, for example, if you're in an organization like an army unit, if you can imagine, you'd get a new arrival who just come off basic training, and then that person is younger than everyone else in an army unit, but gets promoted quicker and gets all the courses before everyone else. And suddenly the person who was on basic training a year or two ago is promoted above you, and you're wondering why. These people get into senior positions very quickly. They also have a bad attitude. So when you're communicating with witches and Wiccans, there's two types. There's one type that think they're clever and they're smiling. They also, if you're the mark, they'll be often smiling and thinking they're clever, like they're going to get away with something. Other ones are polite. The polite ones are quite dangerous. They'll befriend people, and then they'll be friendly on the surface, but when you are taken underground, they become extremely violent and evil people. So they'll act and behave as if they're your friend, but you'd identify them as being nasty if you overheard conversations that they have with other people behind your back. So that's the kind of people they are. There are others that are outright hostile and will talk down to people all the time. So that's how you can identify some of them. I'm the Archangel Daniel, and I'm from heaven.